Right. Today we are going to learn about the work done. Right. Let's go to learn what is the work done. Work done. Right. Now tell me. Right now there is a object like that. There is a object like that. Right. Then when force is applied on this object, force is applied on this object, right? Due to apply the force on this object, now think about this object is moved, if not displaced, from this place to another place, right? This is the displacement of the object due to application of the force, due to application of the force, right? So what is the work done, right? You must keep remember work done means the product of the force and displacement, force and displacement, force and displacement. You must keep remember the definition of the work done is the product of the force and displacement towards the direction of the force, towards the direction of the force. So if not work done, this equation can be written as work done is equal force is represented by F, distance is, if not displacement, represented by D, work done is equal FD. Work done is equal FD, right? Right. Then we are going to learn about the unit of the work done. Now we learned about what is the work done, no? Now we are going to learn about the unit of work done. Unit of work done. How to take the unit for the work done? How to take the unit of the work done? Right, you must keep remember to take the units of the work done, we should use equation of the work done. Right, so what is the equation of the work done as we learned earlier? Work done is equal force time distance, no? Right, normally we know force is measured by Newton and distance is measured by meter. Force is measured by Newton and distance is measured by meter. So how to take the unit for the work done? The product of the Newton and meter is Newton meter. Newton meter. You must keep remember the unit of the one unit of the work done is Newton meter. Newton meter, right? And also the similar unit for the Newton meter is joule. Joule, right? So what is the relationship between Newton meter and joule? What is the relationship between Newton meter and joule? Right, the relationship between Newton meter and joule is 1 Newton meter is equal 1 joule. 1 Newton meter is equal 1 joule. Right, you must keep remember this is the relationship between Newton meter and work done. Now we learned about what is the work done and then we learned about units of the work done. Units of the work done, and then we will go to learn about the right energy. Right, then we will go to learn about the energy. Tell me, what do you mean by energy? What do you mean by energy? You must keep remember. Now we are going to learn about the energy. Energy means ability to work done, no? Energy means ability to work done. Now when we consider about the energy, energy means ability to work done. Ability to work done is known as energy, no? You already learned about what is the energy. Right, then now when we consider about the energy, there are different types of energy, no? Tell me, what are the different types of energy as you know? Light energy, sound energy, heat energy, kinetic energy, potential energy, are the different types of energy as you learnt in the your previous grades, no? Right now, when we consider about the energy, now we learnt about energy mean ability to work done is known as energy, right? There are different types of energy, right? Let's go to learn what are the different types of energy. One of them is light energy. Second one, sound energy. Third one, heat energy. Next one, kinetic energy. Next one, potential energy. Right? And also here I will explain special points. Those are the different types of energy, no? Among the different types of energy under the grade 10, you have to learn the kinetic energy and potential energy. And also the kinetic energy and potential energy commonly known as mechanical energy. You must keep remember it. Right now we learned about what is the energy, what are the different types of energy, no? Right. Among the different types of energy, now we are going to learn about the kinetic energy. What is the kinetic energy? Kinetic energy means energy of a moving object contain. Now think about the fan. If the fan is positioned at the stationary position, there is not a kinetic energy for the fan. But when it is rotated, it has the kinetic energy. And also, when a stationary object, there is not a kinetic energy. But if this object start to move, this object has the kinetic energy. Now, you can take what is meant by kinetic energy like that. Right. Again, tell me, what is the kinetic energy? Kinetic energy means energy of a moving object contained. Kinetic energy means energy of a moving object contain. Right. Now I am going to explain equation for the kinetic energy. Right. Now think about the mass of the object is m. Now there is an object, the mass with m, and also this object travel in the velocity of v. Right. So how to take the kinetic energy? You must keep remember kinetic energy is equal half mv squared. This equation can be used to find the kinetic energy possessed by this object. Right. So what is the m? M is the mass. It should be substitute in kilogram. Right. So what is the v? V is the velocity. You already know the unit of the velocity, no? What is the unit of the velocity? Meter per second. Meter per second is the unit of the velocity. Right now, today our lesson, work, energy and power. Under this topic, firstly, we learned about what is the work done, no? And then we learned about energy. Under the energy, you learned about different types of energy. Among the different types of energy, firstly you learned about the kinetic energy, then we are going to learn about the gravitational potential energy. Before learned about the gravitational potential energy, you should learn what is the potential energy. Right. Now think about what is the potential energy. Potential energy. Potential energy. Right, now think about potential energy mean energy is stored of an object due to its position or you must keep remember due to its position or change of its form. Change of its form is known as potential energy. Is known as potential energy. Right. So what is the potential energy? Potential energy means energy is stored of an object due to its position or change of its form. Change of its form. And also now when we consider about the potential energy, there are different types of potential energy. There are different types of potential energy. Right. Tell me, what are the different types of potential energy? Right. One of them is gravitational potential energy. Gravitational potential energy. Another types of potential energy is elastic potential energy. Elastic potential energy. Another types of potential energy is chemical potential energy. Chemical potential energy. Another types of potential energy is electrical potential energy. Electrical potential energy. You must keep remember those are the different types of potential energy. Among the different types of potential energy, you have to learn only the gravitational potential energy under the great. Right. Let's go to learn about what is the gravitational potential energy. Gravitational potential energy. Right. Now look at the board. Now we are going to learn about what is the gravitational potential energy. Right. Now think about. Now there is a mass, object, mass M. This object we should lift it up to h meter height, h height. Right. Then now think about if the mass of the object is m, the weight of the object is mg, no? Weight of the object is mg. Right. So what is the force that should be applied towards the upward to lift this object? To lift this object? Right. You must keep remember the force that should be applied towards the upwards should be equal to the its weight. Its weight. Right. Then now when we consider about the gravitational potential energy possessed by this object, it is equal to the work done. It is equal to the work done. Then gravitational potential energy is equal work done means F times D. You already learned. Right. Then gravitational potential energy is equal. What is the F? F is equal mg, no? D is equal h. Right. So what is the gravitational potential energy and mgh? Gravitational potential energy is equal mgh. Here m is the mass. Mass should be measured by kilogram. G is gravitation. Gravitation unit meter per square second or newtons per kilogram. Newtons per kilogram is the unit for the gravitation. H is height. Height. It should be measured by the meter. It should be measured by the meter. Right now, we learned about what is the gravitational potential energy, what is the equation of the gravitational potential energy. Right. Then, I am going to explain the relationship between kinetic energy and gravitational potential energy. If not, energy transformation. You must keep remember when an object move vertically upwards or when an object fall from some height, there is a energy transformation. And also here you should learn the law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of energy. What is the law of conservation of energy? Law of conservation of energy means energy cannot be created or energy cannot be destroyed, right? If not, one types of energy can be converted into the another types of energy. That is the law of conservation of energy. That is the law of conservation of energy. Right. Now think about, there is an object here. Mass of this object is m. Right. When this object thrown vertically upwards at the velocity of v, right, and also at the maximum height, now think about maximum height of this object, which is height, right, there is a velocity here. So this object, if not this object in this position, it has the kinetic energy. And also when it is at the maximum height, the velocity of this object is zero. It means there is not a kinetic energy of this object in this situation, if not in this position, but it has the gravitational potential energy, no? Gravitational potential energy. And also, right, according to the law of conservation of energy, the kinetic energy is equal gravitational potential energy. Kinetic energy is equal gravitational potential energy. Right. So what is the unit used to measure the kinetic energy? Kinetic energy is measured by half mv squared. No? Gravitational potential energy. Gravitational potential energy measured by mgh. Then m can be cancelled. After that, v squared divided by 2 is equal gh. V squared divided by 2 is equal gh. Then v squared is equal to gh. After that, v can be written as square roots of 2gh. Right. This is the relationship that can be used to find the velocity. Not only velocity, but also we can find the height also according to this, right, equation. Right. Now we learned about work done and then energy. Under the energy we learned about kinetic energy and gravitational potential energy. No? Right. Now we are going to learn about the last topic of the lesson, power. Power, P. Right. What is the power? Power means the rate of work done, if not the rate of energy consumed. Energy consumed, rate of energy consumed. Right, let's go to learn what is the power. You must keep remember, power means rate of work done is known as power. Is known as power. Right, so how to write the equation for the power? Power is equal work done divided by time. Power is equal work done divided by time. Right. Then, right, this is the equation of the power. Right. Then we will go to learn how to take the unit for the power. Now we learned about what is the power. Then we are going to learn about the energy, if not unit for the power. If not, this equation can be written like that also. Power is equal work done divided by time. If not, power is equal energy divided by time. Right. Because work done is equal to the energy. Right. Then we will go to learn how to take the units for the power. Units of power. Units of power. Right. To take the units of power, we use P is equal work done divided by time. No? Work done. Work done is measured by joule. Time is measured by second. So how to take the unit for the power? Joule per second. Joule per second. It is similar to the watt. It is similar to the watt. The relationship between joule per second and watt is 1 joule per second is equal 1 watt. Right now, we learned about 2 units for the power, no? 2 units for the power. Right, what are the 2 units you learned for the power? One of them is joule per second, another one is watt. Right, now I am going to explain another unit for the power. What is the another unit? Now think about power is equal work done divided by time, no? Right. Power is equal, what is the work done? Work done means force time displacement divided by time. Then this one can be written as like that. Force time displacement divided by time. What is the displacement divided by time as you learned in the unit 2? Motion under the straight line. You learned about displacement divided by time. No? What is the displacement divided by time? Displacement divided by time is what? Force times displacement divided by time is velocity. Displacement divided by time is velocity. Right, then we can take this is the another equation that can be used to find the power, no? This is the another equation that can be used to find the power. Right, so right, and also now we can take the another unit for the power also. What is the another unit? New force is measured by Newton. Velocity is measured by meter per second. Right, so what is the another unit? Newton meter per second is equal another unit for the power. Another unit for the power. Right, now you must keep remember under the unit 18 of the grade 10 is work, energy and power. Right, under this video, I have explained all the theories contained in the lesson. Right, at first, I explained what is the work done, no? And then energy. After that, we learned about, under the energy, we learned about especially 2 types of energy. Kinetic energy and potential energy. Right, under the potential energy, especially we learned about gravitational potential energy. After that, we learned about law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of energy. Under the law of conservation of energy, I have explained the relationship between kinetic energy and potential energy. Kinetic energy and potential energy. After that, we learned about the power. Power. Under the power, you learned about what is the power, what is the equation of the power, what are the units of the power. Right, okay, then we will meet our next video.